Hello there and welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today we're going to get into episode 2 of volume 11 of my Stevie Nicks Fleetwood Mac Scrapbooks. We're continuing on with technically the second part of Tango in the Night. And I'm going to start right off with yet another old page that I had done a long time ago. One of my Bay Area ads. You can tell the really cool early amateur work with the little frame thing here. Some Xerox pictures, some stuff cut out of magazines, stuff that's been taped up or torn up, not well, you know. Same here with the little frame component. So clever. Little would I know about how many of those photos I'd come in contact with. This is kind of an unusual, just something I don't see very often out of Cosmopolitan or something like that. Just or one of those, maybe not Cosmo, but like 17 or something like that. One of those teenage girl magazines. I think this is a copy of no, is that a copy? Yeah. And then this is the little part of Fleetwood Mac in Rolling Stone magazine when they're getting back together to do Tango in the Night in the studio. And I'm not sure where this is from. Fleetwood Mac will release its first new album in 5 years and possibly its last LP ever. Oddly enough, in essence, it is, right? It's the last full studio album with all 5 members. So technically, these were pictures I was getting down. I think I mentioned with another set. What was that? Was that earlier in the book, or was that with? Trying to think of what era that was. Maybe Rock a Little, where I had been getting those pictures at a place down on the wharf in San Francisco. There used to be like a rock and roll store, and that Dean Messina guy, even though he wasn't putting his name on a lot of the stuff, there's some on the back here, but he had these in spades. He had so many photos from this show, and I'm guessing he either went both nights or he went to a couple shows, or I'm not sure. But I just remember there was just a flood of photographs from this time when I was going to the store there for a while after, and I was trying to buy every damn one of them. Really, really like this one. This one's not one of his, I don't believe, but I think all of these are definitely him. Kind of an older page. Let's see if I can. This is another one of those examples of seeing that the plastic's getting kind of mangled on the outside here. Okay, it's a little bit better. Then more. So this one definitely has his name on it here. See if I can get that back in here real quick. Went in nice and smooth, and this was kind of like the little accent piece to go with this one here. This is a great shot. These were, I think we're getting into the, and I think I'll keep up, I'll go through this. See, 1, 2, yeah. So this was Stevie and Mick at the press conference that they gave to announce the arrival of Billy and Rick. So this is them appearing at the conference beforehand. Stevie looked so pretty that day. Then these photos here, I know, for example, this one was one that I ordered from that Nancy Brandon Bar person I think I mentioned, where you'd like send in a few bucks and $1 with self-addressed stamped envelope and get a sample picture. This was one. And then I know that Dave at Star World had a lot of these. There was a lot of photos. I mean, there's so many photographers, such a big moment anyway. But these were kind of a prevalent time, and so many of these photos at that time. And then this one I got randomly from a seller in Oregon here. Somebody at a record store, at a record show that I went to every year, had a whole bunch of 8x10s and a lot of stuff, things that I had already. But this one stood out, so that was kind of unusual. A Neil Preston shot, and they were all. I didn't write that on there. Obviously, I know who they are, but somebody decided they should write the names on there. So whatever. But that was kind of a new and different one I hadn't seen. You're so used to close up of Stevie, of Chris, so it's kind of nice to have the far away one where they all can be seen in the photo. Yeah, this kind of sample one was kind of cool. And we have these here. Then this card was a card from Italy, I want to say. Spain. Fans, F-A-N-Z, and a trademark of a certain place or what have you. Why does it look like there is glue on this side of it? I have no idea. That sucks. Anyway, this is the front side, and this is what the back side looks, just to kind of tell me, and when I put it in there. And I have no idea why that sticker thing is on there. Then this was a nice little, kind of a unique, I had this one, and I have one for around the Clinton inauguration. I think that's the only other one, but these are, I can't remember what these are called, but they're really thin paper. They're not quite photo paper. They're not quite like regular craft paper or printer paper, but they're kind of waxy. They're a little bit more, or slick, I should say, not waxy. And they're used for, they're like newspaper archival photo type things. And they kind of stand out differently because they're always kind of yellowed like this. That's not just smoke and age. Over the years, they're just always kind of that color. And they always have this little tab point on it. And usually a thick, usually there's kind of a border, an outline or something like that, but they're just really unique photos. And like I said, I have about 2 or 3 of them maybe. This one, definitely one from the Clinton inauguration, somewhere around that time, and maybe one more. And this one just says, I don't know what CADV means, period, for weekend editions is what I'm guessing. July 20th through the 22nd with Story Slugged. WKD Music Makes Fleetwood Mac. New York July 11th, Mac is back. Members of the rock group Fleetwood Mac posed together in 1987 to announce the addition of guitarist Rick Vito, left, and Billy Burnett, second from right, to the group. The band has released a new album, Behind the Mask, from left to right, Vito, McVie, McFleetwood, Stevie, blah, 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 blah. So obviously that should probably go with 1990, now that I read that part, but I put it here because it's all that same time, all the photo session. This is nice too. So that'll be kind of a short one, because if I start on the next part, let me see here, 1 second here. I think it'll be too many. No, you know what? No, I'm kidding. We have just a few more minutes. I don't want to make it that short. I was worried because I have a lot of pages for this event too, which was Stevie, or everybody at the Grammys, I believe, at the Video Music Awards, 1987 Video Music Awards. This page I always thought was kind of fun when I put this together, because I had a whole bunch of, in a clippings set somebody had sent me a ton of these things out of Rolling Stone magazines over the years of Fleetwood Mac being on the charts, which was really kind of cool. And I thought, I mean, that's cool, but what am I going to do with all that? So I made this kind of collage and was just sticking them in, and I thought it was really clever. And just for posterity's sake, at the time, this was October 30th, 1987. In videos, Fleetwood Mac was number 3 with Little Lies. In British albums, Fleetwood Mac was number 4 with Tango in the Night. With US singles, Fleetwood Mac was at number 3 with Little Lies. With albums, Fleetwood Mac was on the chart at this time at 24, so I think they were just kind of working up with Tango in the Night. So that was, top 50 albums. So they were, number 10. I just have a problem reading that. But yeah, I thought that little collage, putting those things in there, was just kind of a cool idea. And some better group photos here. Chris and everybody looks great. Now, we're going to talk about Stevie's makeup, okay? Let's just get that out here right now. She looks so, we're in a day and age now of beauty influencers on YouTube and everywhere like that. And, so, some of us know like Hollywood makeup and all that kind of stuff. But whoever did her makeup, I'm sure she had a word for, because they did an outstanding job. But when the camera hits her in such a way, she just looks like white. I mean, you could just see even from this background like this, and it's just a clear difference between her head and her body here. But then you take a shot like this and she looks phenomenal. But yeah, it's just funny to me because some of these photos, boy howdy, does it just stand out like a sore thumb. But she just looks so damn great that night. I mean, here it's not so bad. She still looks really pale, but she looks all one color here. Then we have some really nice pictures of just Chris and Rick, which I'm really fond of. These are all negatives that I have. That's why they're all pretty similar. Then these are just over time, but let's see, where's that one? One in particular here. Yeah, some of these you can kind of tell. Again, we can kind of have the really white face to the body. I know Christine was never a fan of dressing up, as I've mentioned in a couple videos. But when she when she does, she looks great. I mean, I think she looks great anyway. I mean, Christine McVie was the kind of person who she just had cool, she was like the Steve McQueen of women in rock. She was cool no matter what. But when she girled up and got dressied up, like, which is not normally her forte, I think she looked like $1,000,000. But when she'd also just go out in jeans and some very 70s top or her Nobody's Perfect top or something like that, she still rocked it just as hard. But I did like seeing them both really dressed up. And I think this was maybe kind of a big deal for her at the time. And I do believe that this outfit, complete with the boots, was something that was part of her auction not too long ago, that Chrissy's auction. This one here. I think it's that one. Yeah. Kabuki. That's always what I think of when I see it, like kabuki makeup. But she was just, Stevie in that dress, Christine in her dress. And then how lucky is Rick Vito right here, right? Two of Rock's hottest ladies on his arms. And then I'll end with these. Stevie arriving with her brother. With Rick again here. I think that's still Rick holding on to her. And here, I think, yeah, this would be, he's cut out of it, but that's also Chris in this picture with her there. Chris Nix. So that will do it for the end of this episode of Tango the Night. And we've got plenty more to go. So thank you so much for joining me. And we'll see you next time. Have a great night. Bye.